The Bash-Whisler Bible Reading Contest is at least a 50-year tradition at Northwest Christian University. We're not sure what year it was founded, but we do know in 2012 a group of alumni came to campus for their 50-year class reunion, and one of them had been a finalist in Bash-Whisler and even still remembered her passage. Here's how Bash-Whisler works. If you want to enter it, you pick an Old Testament and a New Testament passage, and each of them has to be a minimum of 12 verses and a maximum of 25. Now we say passage because you don't get to go and just pick your favorite verses and kind of stick them together. It needs to be a continuous, uninterrupted passage. You don't get to skip verses. For the Old Testament passage, you practice reading it from the page. For the New Testament passage, you will need to commit it to memory. And then in the contest, what you'll do is you will present your passages expressively. Expressively does not mean acting them out. Expressively means the kind of reading that would be appropriate during a Sunday school class, or possibly if you were the reader during a worship service. You should use your voice and also your pace, your pauses, your face to a limited degree to bring the meaning of the passage to life. The deadline to enter the Bash-Whisler Bible Reading Contest is Friday at 5 p.m. on the 4th week of the semester, and you enter by emailing me, and you tell me what your Old Testament and New Testament passage are and which translation you're using. And you can use just about any translation we use for study on this campus: the ESV, the NIV, the NASB, the New Living, the Revised Standard, New Revised Standard, the King James, if you're up for a challenge. You cannot use the Message, because what we want is we want a translation that is a reasonable attempt at a word-for-word or idea-for-idea direct translation and not a paraphrase. The Message is a little too much of a paraphrase, and some of the very contemporary translations are also paraphrases. If you're not sure if your translation is okay, you can ask me, or you can ask any of the BTM faculty, and if they say it's okay, it's okay. So, Friday, 5 p.m., week 4. By then, no later than then, you've sent me your email with your passages and your translation. I'll get back to you with the details of how and when the preliminary round of competition is going to take place. It will be done by late afternoon, early evening on Monday of week 5. Now, if you can't come in on the afternoon, on Monday afternoon, because you have other commitments elsewhere, I can probably get you in earlier than that. You can come in over the weekend if you want. You might even be able to come in on the previous Friday if you know already that you're going to be competing and you're all practiced up. That's because the preliminary round of competition will consist of you performing your passage into this. This is the MP3 recorder that I use. I wear it in my shirt pocket every day to record my lectures. So you will come to either my office or to a classroom that I've reserved, and you will perform your Old and New Testament passages. You'll read your Old Testament passage from the page, you'll recite your New Testament passage from memory, you'll do them both in one go, and once you've begun, there is no stopping. I'll be in the room with you just to make sure that the New Testament passage really was memorized, and then I will take the file of you performing and the file of everybody else who's competing in the prelims, and I put those up, and there is a panel of past winners of Bash-Whisler who will rank all of the performers performing in the preliminary round from number 1, the best, to number however many we have, the weakest. And the top 3 performers from among all the rankings of all the judges, the top 3 performers advance to the final round. Now, the final round always happens in Thursday Chapel in week 6 of the semester. The Bash-Griffith family who donate the prize money are almost always in attendance. Every year I've been here, they've been in attendance. And they get really, really delighted when they see the work that you've put into this and the excellent presentation you put on. So, if you are one of the 3 finalists, then I will put you in random order. I'll use an Excel spreadsheet, give you a random number, and thereby determine who's going first, who's going second, who's going third. Then you will perform your Old Testament and New Testament passages into a microphone, because obviously it's chapel, it's too big for us just to hear you. And there will be a panel of judges. The judges tend to be NCU faculty. A few times we've had pastors who are alums of the school sit in and serve as judges, and then I will call all the finalists back up on stage, and I will announce who the winners are, and I will award the prizes, the cash donated by the Bash-Griffith family. And you have got some of God's Word hidden in your heart, and you have had some serious practice at presenting it expressively and powerfully for people to hear, not just to read off the pages of their Bible. Those are the details of the Bash-Whisler Bible reading contest. If you have questions you'd like answered, you can ask me when you see me around campus, or you can swing by my office. I'll even maybe clean it a little bit. Or you could shoot me an email and I'll field your questions that way. I hope that you will give entering a shot.